for joining all our panelists today for Invincible's topic on books today, yesterday, and tomorrow. This is going to be a short discussion, and before this discussion, I would like to introduce our panelists. First, I would like to introduce Ms. Shilpa, Dr. Shilpa. Dr. Shilpa is Dr. Shilpa is a director and founder of PodGuru Training and HR Consulting Services. She is a passionate corporate trainer and a transformation coach. She has over 8 years of experience in understanding human potential and transforming them into realities. With core expertise in business soft skills, corporate etiquettes, sales trainings, and personality development. Shilpa is associated with the leading management institutes of Ahmedabad with a vision to mold young and dynamic minds for a confident transition into the corporate business world. Yes, Shilpa, you would like to say something? I saw you holding your hand up.
Thank you so much, Vigneshwar, for a beautiful introduction.
You're welcome. Miss Jyoti, I would like to introduce you now. Born in Mumbai, Jyoti Bish grew up in the hills of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. She began her education at the prestigious Belhams Girls College School, Dehradun in 1961. Her love for English literature started early in school, and she went on to complete her post-graduation and MPhil in the subject from Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. Besides being an avid reader, she is a hardcore movie buff. Widely traveled, she instinctively connects with people and can chat comfortably with strangers for hours. All this is fuel for her imagination and often the genesis of her stories. Currently, she lives in New Delhi with her husband, where she continues to elicit smiles even from strangers. Welcome, Shilpa, Miss Jyoti Bish. I'm so sorry, I've been mixing your names up. Now I would like to introduce Laudip Singh. He is a bilingual poet and writer from Gurgaon. A PhD dropout, he holds a bachelor's degree in English, followed by 2 master's degrees, one in English and one in philosophy. Currently, he is working with Trusting Minds as a full-time writer and editor. His first collection of English poetry, entitled Death is My Only Beloved, was published last year in April 2020. At present, he is working on his second book, a collection of ghazals, which will be released later this year. Thank you, Laudip Singh, for joining us today.
Thanks a lot. Glad to be part of this discussion.
Welcome, all of you.
Thank you.
So I will start a discussion with the first question, which is, how do you see yourself as an author of the present day when compared to the earlier times? I would like to start with Ms. Shilpa.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, writing, we can say, was an art, is an art, and it is going to remain as an art. As it is like planning and planting the colorful pictures that your eyes can see into the world of others. So that was definitely an art then. And if we current scenario, if we see there is more dynamism in writing. The only reason could be maybe we are more informed, we are more exposed to the world, to the challenges that current people faces. So that is the reason, could be we have evolved in a more detailed way, and that is the reason we can say the writing at that time was different. It was, and we are just taking on the legacy of that, and we are bringing some more dynamism and serving it to the readers.
Thank you, Shilpa. What do you think, Ms. Jyoti?
Well, actually, I've just become an author. I was just coming out with my first book. So really speaking as an author, I can't say much. But yes, what Shilpa said is quite true, you see. It evolves. Writing evolves, okay? As compared to today's writers, obviously I fall back on what I was before, what I've read before over the years, I did my post-graduation and my MPhil maybe about nearly half a century ago. So it's been quite some time, and you've evolved through those times. And obviously, as an author, when I started writing, I do fall back on what was earlier. But yes, it has changed. So many things change. The language changes, the subjects change, so much changes over the time. And therefore, I think that's exactly what I've come along with, as far as my writing is concerned.
What about you, Lottie? What do you think?
See, I have never compared myself with the authors or writers of the yesteryears, but for the purposes of this question, if I compare, then I feel myself fortunate and unfortunate also at the same time. So fortunate in the sense that you see the probability of tapping on the awareness or reality of things through the medium of thought is probably high in the present era as compared to the earlier times.
Mhm.
But I also feel unfortunate for the same reason because see, thought as an expression itself, it delimits us also, it limits us, it constrains us in expressing, so for the earlier writers, things were either in yes or no, now it's all about perhaps, maybe, we can't be sure of anything. So I think in that sense, so I feel unfortunate also because there's not much we can write now. Everything has been written. The only way is to, the language itself is collapsing in a way. Not that the vocabulary is shrinking, but the way we understand things is collapsing. It has come to a level that the way we form meaning is collapsing. So in that sense, I feel very unfortunate. So we have less things to, actually create meaning out of things. So we have to leave it vaguely in every form of art. That's how it is. So earlier writers, for them, things, even on the level of thought, they could still, they could still create better vision of things as compared to now.
I just feel that the earlier writers were more philosophical though. Like it's more clear now to understand a concept given our vast vocabulary that we have, the changes in language. Now we have linguism, which
that is okay, but what I am suggesting is once the thought it starts to take any form, any shape, its nemesis begins at that very precise moment. So as writers, it's on us where we take that thought. So but that's what I said. No, I feel fortunate also because this is a very high level of awareness also as far as thought is concerned, and that is all we have to make sense of this world and us. So
Thank you, Lottie. Thank you for the first answers, all of you. The second question that I would like to ask is, what do you think about the contents or composition the authors are creating in the present day when compared to the earlier times, or even today? Last few years back, the compositions, the kind of compositions we had, and the content we had with the today present day compositions and content in the book that we have. What is your thought on that? We'll go with Ms. Jyoti first. Yes.
Well, in the present times, what I see, the variety that is there was never there at my time when we started reading. And obviously, I read a lot when I was very young, and as time progressed, you got busy, and my reading became less. But definitely, the genres as compared to what was during when I used to study or when I started reading, and as what is now present, there's such a vast variety. Because as it is, literature always reflects the times, and the times have evolved so much. Like you all have just said, talked about the vocabulary growing and the awareness growing. There's so much that is there. And there were so many things which people never talked about earlier, which are now open topics. So obviously, there is a far greater variety now that we have as compared to what used to be earlier. And language has changed. Maybe it reflects the kind of things that we are. Today's things move at a very fast pace.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, in the earlier times, if you read books, they went very slowly and, like if you read Hardy, he was one of my favorite writers. He would take pages to describe just the tree and the rainfall or whatever it was. Today, everything is fast moving. So writers also, whatever there is far faster moving as compared to what it used to be earlier. So things have changed. Obviously, it reflects the times that are there, and it's good, because we also identify with it. So that's there.
Thank you so much. What do you think, Ms. Shilpa?
Yes, things are not confined to one boundary right now. So people are free to write anything. And nowadays the challenge is, because normally whenever we are writing something, either we are addressing to some challenges, or else we want to add some value to some to readers, right? So in that case, we have got lot many things that we can discuss upon. Maybe I feel which was not there earlier in terms of content. There are lot many interpersonal skills. There are lot many things to discuss about relationships, right? Earlier, this kind of it was not being so much highlighted, but nowadays there are lot many things which we are really facing in day-to-day life, which we want to our feelings, our experience. We want that to be shared with the generation to come. So that way, I guess it has evolved in a more, the content, we can say it has become more dynamic in nature, and it evolved in a different perspective, wherein we want to reach maximum people, and we want to address to some challenges or some issues of the societies.
So more of an information age that we are in. It's more about information that we are getting, and more of the knowledge that we have, or even if we don't know something, we can just go ahead and read a book and the knowledge would be there. So that's what I think you were trying to say, Ms. Shilpa.
Yes.
What do you think about this, Lodit?
I also agree to some extent, but I associate more with poetry, but my answer would remain more or less the same. So when we talk about the content, I feel it's a little displaced from the earlier tradition of writing, and as far as the composition is concerned, then even the composition is very, it's very rough. It's kind of a rough hue, So, and I think the main reason behind it is that the kind of relationship that a teacher and a learner had, before, that has, totally become non-existent today. So there was a time when people would go to their master and they would just study one book. Imagine, for an year. Now they put I don't know how many, 10, 15 books in a semester. So, and those are very pretty heavy books.
Yeah.
So, so I come across, I read. So sometimes I read some poetry and it's well structured. The vocabulary is perfect. Everything is perfect. And it's like, wow. But there is nothing, there is no depth. I could not retain anything when I finished, so there's no depth in it. Yeah. And sometimes the thought is new. Somebody is trying to say something new, but then the structure is such that, again, that whatever that thought is trying to convey doesn't come out as clearly. So I think it's a transitional phase, and it's always a transitional phase, not even the one where the future generation, it's always in transition. And this is also good in, I think, creating way for future writers to to think what they should ignore and which path they should choose, and how to go about it. So, yeah.
Thank you, Lodit. The next question that I would like to ask you all is: do you think the present day compositions are going to be of any use in the future? I mean, this is a very like a yes/no question. Obviously, it's going to be of some use, but what exactly? I want you to expand on this thought. But do you think the present day compositions are going to be of any use? Any, like how the past cultural books used, like we call them classics now, they were not the classics at the time. So what do you think of the present day books, and how it's going to be in the future? I would like to go with Lodit for this question for the first time.
Yeah, so I would say, see, time is a great filter. it filters everything. So irrespective of what we understand as good and bad, so it filters. So whether it would be of any use, it would depend on the sensibility acquired by the individuals of the future generation, I would say. You see, so depending on that, it could be, made use of in whichever way suitable.
Thank you. What do you think, Ms. Jyoti?
See, there are certain things which will always be there. They've been going through the ages, and I think they will be there in the future also. There are certain universal themes which cannot change. They were there in the past, they are there in the present, they will be there in the future. So they are there in today's novels also, in today's writing also, whatever is there. So obviously that is going to go on. There are certain things which we feel, like I said, universal, we want them and they happen. And therefore they will stay always. Maybe things change, like I said, times evolve, mores change, our way of looking at things may change, okay? But a lot of it still persists, and it will continue to go on. And so I think there is a lot that is there to offer, and it will carry on into the future also. Why not?
Thank you. What do you think, Shilpa?
Yeah, aligning to Lodeep and Jyoti's words, yes, that we got some inspirations, or there is something which, inspire us to write. Maybe there was the past readers, the books that we have read, the ideas that we have got through those books, so that we try to bring it in our writing, or somewhere it will be reflected in our writing. And the topics that we are addressing right now, I'm sure this would have some takeaways for the future generations as well. So there is going to be definitely a highlight of that is going to be utilized by the next generation when they are evolving as writers.
Like kind of like an example, like Harry Potter. It's my generation book, Harry Potter, and it has such a fan base now. And now, like after my generation, the current generation, they call it classics. Harry Potter is almost become a classic now for the kids, and so I was just talking to someone a few days back, and they were talking about Harry Potter, and like, oh, it's such a classic book, and I was like, that's my generation book. I feel old with the whole thing. So maybe in the future there would be your books, which would be called classics. Hopefully.
There's another thing about classics. Classics are books which everybody talks about but nobody reads. So
not true not true
but it's a way of saying, of course I also read, I know why everybody reads them. We cannot deny, but it's a way of saying things. We all choose our classics, and
and whatever the classics are, they continue to evolve. I'm using the word again, because if you had Harry Potter, you had C.S. Lewis earlier, in my times I read the Narnia series, okay? Yeah. And you had, of course, Lord of the Rings and all the rest of it. Those were there at that time. From that, other things have come out. So in the future also, based on Harry Potter, there would be something else, I think. So it has something to offer, because you've got something to fall back on to, go further. Yeah. Why not?
We've got the foundation coming from the previous generation. We add on something, and the next generation would add something more, and the
classics will continue.
Will continue.
Okay. So the next question is, what is your view on the kind of books published today compared to the earlier times, and what do you think the content style would be for the future generations? I would like to start with Shilpa for this question.
Okay, yeah, very interesting subject rather. Yes, so now as I say that we are more informed, we are more technology driven. So definitely the write-up or the writings which would come, they would be somewhere where would be technological things, and the developments that is happening around. So all those things, when it will be summed up in the writing, that would be helping to the next generation, wherein they would be having the exposure of the things which is innovations and the new things that is happening around you, right? So we can say that we are seeing writers like, young children are becoming the writers these days. So when we look at their content, so there is lot much dynamism because of they're more exposed to the technology and to the IoT and to the technology advancement and all. So you would find some kind of impression of those things into their writing. So that way I can say that future would be more on technology and more on advancement of the things that would be more preferred for the reading.
What do you think, Ms. Jyoti?
Well, again, like I said earlier, reflects the times. And as Shilpa said, there's going to be a lot of technology, a lot of innovations that have come in. Again, I come back to the vastness that is there. You see, because there's so much of things that are happening. Technology is there, but there are people who go, who read for entertainment. There are people who, express their personal feelings. We identify with them. So there is a variety to choose from. Okay, it's not just one kind. If you like science fiction, you can go to science fiction. If you like about people, you read biographies. There's so much. If you like, things based on technology, as she said, like I said, science fiction is there, and so many others are there. So there's going to be a much greater variety than at the present times maybe also, because we are getting more and more information. There's more evolvement. There's more awareness. There's so much that is there. And there is a lot of genres that are there that you can write in. There's poetry, there's drama, there's so much more. In our times when we used to study, there used to be, novel was there and short story was there and poetry was there and drama was there, and that was the end. And maybe science fiction had just started coming in. But now there's such a variety. I mean, I don't even know half of the things that are around at the moment. So in the future also, as we grow more and we evolve more and there are more things come in, there would be, for everybody there would be. I hope people read. Unfortunately, that also is going out in a big way because there's so much more. There's so many other things. But those who read, there would be a variety to choose from depending on what you want. If you want to read a light book, you have a light book. You want to go into something deeper, there would be a deeper philosophical book. You can go into technology, you can go into so many things. So I think there's going to be a lot of variety that would be there. Again, reflecting the times that are there before.
What do you think about this, Laudip? Laudip,
I would agree that the variety. Yeah, hello? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so I would say that, yes, I would agree that the variety has increased. There's everything, I mean, people are not just books, in every, form of art, people are trying to explore. And so one thing which I have seen is, because the question is like, what is your view on the kind of book publishers? So one thing which I've seen is there is a lot of resurgence in the publication of self-help books.
True.
So in the recent times, which is a very good thing, because it helps people, as am I told. So, but one thing which, when I see it in the context of book and art, for that matter, is that those books focus more on, right living rather than progress. So I would say that, like, my view of progress as in art would be to not differentiate between right and wrong, good and bad. Those are not the issues of art.
Not the black and white.
Such. So create better questions, instead of providing answers to everything. Books should frame, any kind of book, whether it be of history, psychology, philosophy, or it should create better questions, for us to deal with rather than providing the answers. And was there a second part of this question?
Yes, Ms. Jyoti? You said something?
That's right. When you talk about, Laudip was talking about, right and wrong, and, questions that are right and wrong are very relative terms, I think,
Mm-hmm.
What may be right to you may not be right to me. And today, and things have changed. Earlier, there were those strict rules and wars were there. This was right and this was wrong. But now things have changed so much, You don't have to stick by one. It's for us to explore what we think is right and what we think is wrong. It is, and again, as writers, speak with you, what you have come to, you can share it with the others. and maybe, you know, lots of people are there who would be able to identify with that. So it's you know, that thing is also there. He just said
Yes,
this.
yes.
I would just like to add on to this, like in Jyoti's generation, there was, I think, a trend of detective novels, like the detective novels and crime novels. There was a trend of that, and from there, then it came to fantasy novels. The trend came to fantasy novels like A Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Aragon, the Inheritance series. And you know, all these fantasy novels where magic and swordmanship, warriors, all this was concerned. And then now in, I think, 2010 2012, there was, in at least in fantasy fiction genre, there is a lot of transmigration theme. If you read the local, like the new novels, or there are a lot of even 50 Shades of Grey, for that matter. It's fiction, but again, it's in the romance. Then there's a lot of information that it would not have been there 20 years back. It would have been a big taboo. Now,
Yeah.
those kind of books are openly published, and we also, like, they're published. I'm not saying anything is wrong in there, nothing right or wrong about it, just that it has developed in such a way that now it's more accessible. The information is more accessible, the content is more free. Even in fiction, there is a lot of like, as I said, transmigration or apocalypse themes are going on. And with the current pandemic, there are a lot of if you go on fan fiction, if you read fan fiction online, you would see there is a trend where a lot of apocalypse books are or stories are coming out. Maybe they are getting inspired with the whole scenario that is going on right now. But the trend is there in something. So what kind of trend do you think is in the future would be like? This is the trend right now. What do you think is the future trend? As she said, it's information. There was someone who told me who was pressing a lot a few years back for global warming, and in a previous panel discussion, there was a lady author who told me that this pandemic is a way for Earth to revive. It's a good thing that happened in a way, because a lot of us have started. A lot of us have got time to stop, breathe, relax, revive, and start again. So what is the trend that you think would be in the future generation when they write? What like, just make an opinion of yourself. What do you think? I'll start with Ms. Jyoti.
With the future, again, I would think, I mean, again, I would go back to nature itself and think of the problems that are there. I mean, a world maybe where there are no trees, you know, things that we take for granted at the moment. Maybe because I'm a nature lover and I'm very worried about these things. And so perhaps, you know, think of a world where there's no trees, or there's no rain, or whatever, you know. So all those things. So those are some of the topics that can be there again, you know. And related to that, again, technology can come in, that how mankind is trying to save himself. They would come up with some, you know, more things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the present, there are a lot of books that are based on mythology also. We have a lot of writers who write about mythology. So that is another trend that is very interesting, you know, because we've looked upon these books as they were religious or whatever connotations that they had. But now they become stories like Amisha's books and all the rest of it. So there's, you know, that is also a very interesting part of writing that is there. And there's so many now. So that's another thing I think that could be there, people exploring further, you know. And our religion anyways, I mean, our mythology is full of so much that is there that you can always write about. So that's another thing. And technology, of course, would be there about whatever. Anyways, I've seen quite a lot of the world already. I don't think so I'm going to see much of it. So it's for the youngsters to decide what the future trends are going to be like.
Yeah. Thank you, Jyoti. What do you think about this, Shilpa? What is your point of view?
she said, let me just continue on that mythology part. So yes, mythology is really very interesting, and it is catching people's attention these days. Now, when we associate those mythological concepts, Indian ancient mythological concepts, with the management things, so they become the self-help book where people, the youngsters, would definitely, they would have lot many things to be derived. Because when I wrote my first book, that is Four Tattvas of Leadership, right? So because I am associated with universities, with a young and dynamic mind, where I see there's a lot of gap where it comes to showing their leadership skills. They are a little bit of lacuna. So I found it as a challenge, and I wanted to address that thing, and I I wrote upon that. So wherever those mythological concepts, when we give in a practical way, wherein people would try to see themselves in that frame, and they would find some solutions of their personal and professional life through those write-ups. No, definitely people are going to admire it, they are going to accept it, and they would be opening up the book, they would start entering into the world, which they would find, yes, somewhere it is connecting to their problems. So these kind of things would really have a great things to acceptability, I feel so.
Thank you. For example, like Mahabharata, it's taken as a it's such a, if you go through only by the story and not the religious connotations that it has, and there is new takes on Mahabharata from present day writers, which is so eye-opening. You're like, when you were kids, we are thinking, Mahabharata, like, kaun sochta hai? Like, we are, it's not related to us. But then we see, oh, it's our current society. It's very relatable. And I think, yes?
It is very relatable. I think mythology has got lots to offer in the present times.
True. And as a author, what would you like to advise the aspiring authors or writers? I'll start with Lawdeep for this question.
Well, I would say that reading is very important, and if you think you can write, then write, because there is no other way. So that would be my advice, although I don't like that word, but yeah.
Thank you. What do you think, Shilpa? What is your advice or opinion?
Advice to all the budding. I really feel delighted when I see little children, publishing their books. Like, it's amazing to see the determination and all. So really, I really wish to tell them that just write what you feel. I mean, write about your experiences, or something that is connecting to you. If you are going to write that thing, so that would come directly from your heart and soul, and that would be able to touch the reader's heart and soul as well, which comes directly from your heart. So I guess we should write on that only, which maybe they are experiences or something which is our story, and if we present that to the world, I'm sure people love reading it.
Thank you, Shilpa. What about you, Jyoti? What is your advice for aspiring writers?
I've just become a writer myself, so I don't know if I'm really qualified. But yes, if I can tell you, I became a writer by force rather than by choice, I would say, because I've been a retired teacher and I love teaching. It's been the best part of my life. 35 years I spent, and it's wonderful. I've been telling stories, so I started writing when I retired, and my family read them and they liked them, and they made me get them published. So that's how I've become a writer now, not that I wanted to be. So the same thing, I enjoyed the very activity of writing what I thought. So the play with the words, the language that came out, the ideas that came. Once you started, you were in a totally different world. So I would advise that, like Shilpa said, it should come from the heart. Enjoy what you're doing, You should be very much a part of it. It should not be what, looking at something ulterior, it's going to be enjoyed, or people are going to like it or not. Because if it's something, like you said, it's from the heart, people will identify, and it's a good activity because you've done it because you are happy with it, you've enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And others will also probably enjoy it. So I would say, enjoy every moment of what you're doing, the play of ideas, the way you express yourself, everything. The whole activity should be a joyful activity. It shouldn't be a very compulsive kind of a thing that you have to do.
Okay.
Should be fun.
Thank you for your answer. For the end note, I would like to ask all of you. So it is said that books play a vital role in shaping a generation. Do you think that the present day books that are proving that statement, that we are getting shaped by the books that we are reading?
I think so. It has to be. First, people who read. I mean, not everybody reads, but people who do read, they do read. When whatever they read, somewhere or the other, you kind of imbibe that, and that's responsible for whatever you think later. Kind of molds you in that way. Because whatever we've read, we've also gone in the same way. Lots of thoughts and things come that way. So I think even what present day, whatever is written today, it will help. It will help some way or the other. Molding is a very vast term, because you don't know which way people are going to go and what is the kind. Because I come back to the same thing, because there's so much of vastness that is there. You don't know what is it that people are really going to enjoy and like, and what they would, again, the right and wrong thing comes again. What is it that they think right, and what is it that they're going to follow? So it depends upon a lot of trends that is there. But yes, definitely, as individuals, it does definitely have an impact on people. Whatever is written, it will have in the future too.
What do you think, Shilpa, for that? Thank you for your answer, Jyoti.
So yes, the books have become the inevitable to mankind these days. And books are packed with the knowledge, insights to happy life, love, fear, not many feelings in books. So people are definitely going to read it as an asset to which would help them to build a happier life or something like that. So definitely, it has a lovely future, and people would definitely have their own insights in reading the books.
Thank you, Shilpa. As an end note, I would like to say that thank you all of you for joining today's panel. It was a pleasure to have you here. It was a pleasure talking to all of you, and thank you for coming today. And thank you. Sorry for the delayed time that we had to take for postponing the Zoom panel. Thank you for coming.